An eargasm of learning in a no-fuss show. Welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast, where you can learn straightforward topics about branding, digital entrepreneurship, online business, and many more with your charming host, John Santos, along with inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and thought leaders worldwide.
So how are you doing today? You good?
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Like what I've shared earlier, it's the first ever. We're going to start a different take on this, right? We always do rooms together about, branding and life in business. But this time, like what you've said, we are going on a different route, a masterclass. And again, guys, bear with us as we try this new approach. While we're running a Clubhouse session, we are also building something new with the amazing Pete Cohen here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was asking you, guys, if you want to know what we're going to be talking about today, we want to definitely empower you. We definitely want to give you some stuff. We're going to look at some of the key fundamentals of building a solid brand. There are 5 key areas that we want to talk about. I really encourage you when we go through this that you're thinking about you and your business, where you are. We're going to look at creating a powerful and clear message. We're going to look at knowing your target audience. We're going to look at building customer trust. We're going to look at establishing and recognizing having a recognizable appearance and being cohesive with all of this thing, right. All of this. I've learned so much from Jan since we've been working together. I met him in a Clubhouse room. I clicked on his face and I saw, branding and identity coach. And I thought, you know what? I need help. In what I do, I need help. I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. I'm not good at the visuals, I'm not good at knowing when really something is a good picture. I'm not really good at knowing with the graphics. I'm not really good at knowing how the algorithm works. There's so much that I don't know. So I'm always looking for people who can help me maximize my message, maximize who I am, what I do. And I've worked with loads of people. So Jan, I was just asking the question, when did you first start using social media? Because I still do stuff which is face-to-face, no question about, not very much.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything I do is online. When did you first start using social media?
Well, going back, before the reign of Facebook, we were in there already. MySpace, Pure Volume. There's a shallow similar platform before in Southeast Asia. It's called Friendster. So it's like the beta stage of Facebook, but it's a whole new different company. So it was there for a while. We were using that, but I was really focused on utilizing MySpace because MySpace is a platform that connects international international community, and that's where we exchange media like audio, video, but it's not as smooth as today.
Yeah, no. We had friends reunited. So it's like social media was really just all about connecting people. It wasn't about doing business. I'm sure people worked out pretty quickly. Oh, we can do business. We can sell our services. But obviously, it's escalated. And when I was very famous, was on television. Facebook.
You are still famous, Pete. You are still famous.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm wrong. I'm definitely not how famous I was. When I was on television, literally millions of people watching me, probably pretty much every single day. I had my own TV, 2 of my own TV shows, presenting, blah blah blah, all of this stuff. And at that time, Twitter had just kind of come in, to the latter part of my television career. Facebook, but they weren't doing Facebook Lives. They weren't doing nothing like what is now, and everything has changed. The landscape has changed, and it's about to change again with the metaverse.
Yeah.
I had someone here the other day that's actually working on that project for Facebook. Very interesting. There were things that he could tell me, but things he couldn't tell me.
Oh yeah, it's a big secret.
Which he didn't tell me. So Jan, just tell us a little bit about your methodology, because when I started working with you, let's be honest here. When I started working with you, it's been a massive game changer, right? In fact, yesterday, my former business partner, Ben Davis, he looks at my Instagram. Right. I look at his, and he said, "Pete, what's happening?" He said, "I saw you posted something yesterday." And he said, within a few hours, you've got 14,500 plays, clicks on it.
Yeah.
Said, "What's happening?" I said, "Man, I've been working with Jan Santos." And he said, "Can you put me in contact with him?" Because already this morning, He
did send a message. Yeah.
Yeah, good, because now you and I have teamed up. You and I have teamed up, and we've teamed up for a specific reason. And let me just touch on that very briefly.
Sure.
In fact, no, let me hear from you, just in terms of your methodology, before we delve into this masterclass. Because for me, you're a genius. I don't know exactly how you do what you do, but do you understand your methodology in terms of how you're really able to help people build their identity around what it is, their products or their services?
Yes, and we share the same drive for that. We always believe in simplicity and being direct. And for me, for you to build a solid brand, for us to bring your brand to the next level, is to know who you are. The internals. Focus on the internals. And we always say this, the intent comes before content. My whole methodology revolves around your main core. That's why we always say this. We can build a solid brand connected to who you are and what you do as a person or a company or a brand. So it's the intent, that core, that energy that keeps you going.
I think that's your gift, right? You've obviously been able to work it out, and now we're working with a whole load more people, like Patty Dolbovolsky's a classic example, like me, who's been in the game. She's got millions of people that have watched her TED Talk. But literally, when you look at her now, the difference in her Instagram, it's much more. It's not just the imagery, but it's also the timing and. It's just such an important thing. For me, I wasn't really that interested in Instagram. Instagram for me was just a photo album, literally.
It was before. The intention before Facebook acquired the company, it was a portfolio for photographers. And I remember, my colleagues in the industry, they use Instagram as a portfolio for their photography business. So you're right. It was the intention before, but then.
Well, that's good.
But it transitions, as like I always say this also, a successful brand is fluid. So meaning you always evolve, you innovate, you change, you adapt. And that's what Instagram is doing. It's a video platform now.
Well, we've obviously made a huge move there, and it's really translating into a lot more people coming into our world, a lot more people coming into our business, a lot more people, and it's great. I know we've only just got started. From my perspective, you're amazing at that. What I'm amazing at is really helping people identify if that's what you want your business to become, then who the hell do you need to be? If you don't know who you need to be, I mean, for some people that's not important, but I'd say it's very important for the people. It's all very well talking about the six. For me, that's the magic. The magic is your ability to say, okay, this is how I want my business to be. This is why I want my business. This is what I want my business to be doing. But the most important question, people talk about the why. Yeah, the why is important, but the who is more important.
Ooh, love that.
You don't know who, forget the why. The why. Yes. The why will only take you so far. Who exactly do you need to be? Who is that person? Who do you need to surround yourself with? Right. And for me, surrounding yourself with someone like you is just a massive game changer. So let's kind of dive in right now to this masterclass, the key fundamentals of building a solid brand.
Let's go.
Let's start off with this. Let's start off with number one, which is about creating a clear and powerful message. And why is this so important?
Well, like what you've mentioned a while ago, Pete, in this generation, we have a lot of content out there. And I always hear when you shared about the Nobel Prize winner, about
1972, the guy that said the biggest problem in the world right now is there's way too much information. All right. So what's the difference between 1972 and 2021?
There's a lot of information here. There's a lot of message. And we always hear the question, how would I stand out from the crowd? How would I, as a brand, a company, a personality stand out from the crowd? And we get a lot of tips. You do that, you do this. But again, being simple, you need to know, aside from who you are, your message. What is that drive, that powerful message or story you are ready to share? Will that benefit people around you, your tribe? And if so, why are you doing it? What happened? That's the most important thing in this generation and what it is to come. Your message. It's not about selling. It's not about pitching. But it's giving something valuable that really makes an impact and transforms people's lives. And before I end that, I just want to use you as an example. The reason why, remember that video of you that hit like 200,000 views? The reason why it was so powerful, aside from all the elements and design and, understanding the algorithm and things, is because that the message is very clear. The intent is very clear that your tribe, the community around you, understood your message, the drive, and it impacts them. Some transform their lives, and that is the power of creating a powerful message as the first point, as a fundamental in building a solid brand.
So we're also on Zoom, as well as just me and Jan on Zoom. We're also, obviously, this is live and direct on Clubhouse. Can you just let me share my screen? Not that you guys are going to be able to see this, but Jan, can you just let me share my screen? Because I want to bring something up. And I want you just to reiterate what you just said there, because there's something there that is so fundamentally important. So Jan, if you give me the ability to share the screen, if you click on the security thing there and just let me share the screen.
Doing it.
There's something that you said there that is so essential for everyone to get their heads around. And it's really about a part of the brain which is known as the reticular activating system. And this is really just a bunch of brain cells that are at the back. The back of the brain stem. But I want you to just say that again, right? So when we talk about the key fundamentals of building a solid brand, creating a clear and powerful message, you were talking about that post of the other day. So just tell us a little bit about that again, because we posted something. I'm just scrolling down here. And I
think it's all the way down.
Yeah. I mean, I've never had a video that there is. It's called the Ultrapreneur. And it's basically had close to 250,000 views.
Right.
So,
and it's still growing.
Yeah, it's still growing. But what does it take to act? Because I think a lot of people, they think, oh, now I've got my messaging right. I've got my messaging right. So, why aren't I getting traffic?
Right. So, first of all, if you can look in this video, the first two lines of that video really makes an impact. You were explaining, it's not about who you become. It's about what you can do to others. That two sentences in the start of the video gives an overview of why you're doing the things you're doing in this moment. Your tribe, the community around you, understood your intent. So that alone says everything about you. That is the power of your message connecting to you as a brand. And for me, that really makes an impact.
Yeah, and I, honestly, I cannot emphasize enough. If you want to try and do this on your own, good luck. Honestly, if you want to try and get this out of your head and then put it through everything you do, working with the agency, with the Creative Scoop agency, has just been a massive game changer for us. And I cannot emphasize enough the importance of looking at what we do, because we can help you replicate this, whether it's on Instagram or other platforms, to put a plan in place. Because without a plan, look, there's so many people making so much noise. And you said something really interesting there, Jan, that I really wanted to highlight, which is the reticular activating system, which is a part of our brain that is letting in information. But it's the information that it's letting in is the information that we're looking for.
Right.
So what is it that we're looking for? And this is really interesting. So we did a session here the other day. We had both of my two avatars here, a guy called James Peters and Richard Chaitley, our ideal clients, and we sat down with them. So I was thinking, when we were talking to them and trying to understand more and more about, we serve people that basically high performers. They want to outperform anything they've done before. They want to grow. They want to contribute. They just want to get better. So I'm thinking, okay, what are they looking for? In their reticulating system, think of it like an antenna. They're looking for this.
Right.
So I've got to be very, very clear. Otherwise, if I'm not clear in my messaging, because there's so many people making so much noise, and this is why consistency is so important. I mean, this is a real masterclass, right? And this is why what I learned from you which is obvious, but I was missing the obvious. If you don't know the intent behind your content, you are going to get you're going to get lost, right?
Yes.
Talk about being in a fish with a pond with loads of fish. I think it was Russell Brunson that talks about that. No one's going to find you.
Right. Or you will end up with the wrong community. So they would not benefit from what you offer, or you will not, like what you've said, there's nothing happening. You might feel that, hey, I have my intent in place, I have my messaging, but it's not really working out because you need to have that core really solidified. Let me just share this, and I know you're a fan of Sylvester Stallone, and I am. I love the guy. I think in Rambo Part 2, he was like having a moment with this, I think that his commander or general, that old guy. And he said, "No, I don't want to be back in the game. You turned me into a monster." And then the guy said, "No, we just chiseled the rock into a beautiful statue. You were the rock. And we just, polished the edges and create a statue out of it." That, my friend, in branding says it all. You should have your intent in place because you're the rock. Branding is the process of us just, finding the edges, connecting and making it really in proper order. But you already should know the foundation inside.
Yeah, and again, that's where we can also help people. That's why, talk about Batman and Robin, which you and I most definitely are.
You're Batman. You're Batman. Yeah, I'm Alfred. I'm more of an Alfred, man.
Okay, well, then we're looking for Robin. So if Robin wants to come and join our team, we have an amazing team of people that really want to just help people get this right. And it is where it really is where it's at. You get this right, you got a great chance of getting your message out there. But you have to be bold in order to do. You have to be courageous to kind of put yourself out there in a way that you know the intent behind your content, right? It's absolutely essential. And I know you love to ask those 3 questions of people. Let's just give people here something to do. If you want to understand your powerful message, give us those 3 questions that you always...
Guys, write this down, all right? Before anything else, you step back to the beginning and write these 3 major points. This would give clarity in your journey. Who you are, what you do, and what you offer. 3 major points that would give you an overview in your branding journey. Maybe you're a corporate brand, you're a personal brand. Who you are, what you do, and what you offer. And you may have like a long list of answers for each question, and that's okay. It's not wrong. Because once you've written down those answers, it would give you an overview of what you need to do next. You will now make an assessment. Okay, who am I as a brand? Ooh, I tend to do a lot of things. Ooh, I tend to cater for a lot of people that might hurt me in the long run as a brand. What do I really offer? What do I know that will benefit my community? All right, so who you are, what you do, and what you offer.
And we definitely want to help and support people, whether you end up working with us or not. We still want to just help as many people as possible. And, when we go and look at Jan's Instagram, what I love about yours, and I'd encourage people to go and have a look. I mean, I love the fact that you put into play what you do with your clients, you do with yourself, and you've built a very powerful brand. And let's be honest here, who we're really here to serve is the solopreneur, the ultrapreneur that in probably most cases it's about them. It's not to say we don't cater for other people, but you also feature a lot of people as well. You put the light on other people. So your branding is very, very, very strong.
Pete, I learned it from you. We share the same philosophy. If you want to be successful in life, help other people to be successful. As you can see in my brand, it's not about me. Yes, you can see my pictures a lot, but it's all about other people. Here you can see Maria Stavro, a very international successful coach, Patty Dobrowolski, Jacob Cass, one of the greatest branding coach we have. Gail, it's a collection of everyone. so to speak, because I'm a part in their journey towards success. And again, like what you've said, if you can help someone to be successful or a step closer in their journey towards success, you are also one step closer to being successful.
What's fascinating, going back and looking at the work that we've done, as I'm looking at it here on my screen, you see the journey unfold. You see, you just see it, and you go back far enough, and it's kind of almost a joke to think about what I was doing before. I'm embarrassed by it, not in a way that I'm belittling myself. It's just like I see how far we've come, and we've only just got started.
Yes,
we've only just got started. So. Let's move on to knowing your target audience. Why is it so important to know who your target audience actually is?
Right. And you would hear a lot of, tips or hacks about understanding your target audience. But again, we are an advocate of simplicity, right? An easy to understand perspective of why you need to know your target audience. First is because you would understand what they like. Simple as that. You would understand what they like. You would know what they don't like. You would understand the language they speak. You would understand where to find them. If your tribe, your desired market is on LinkedIn, why would you throw and release content on TikTok? So that's going to be a massive disconnect, right? So that's in the very shallow perspective of why you need to understand your target audience. If you collect those data, and when I say data, there's a lot of system metrics analytics that would help you do that. Or in a simplest form, you need to do research, talk to people like what you do. You connect with them, Zoom, WhatsApp, or Clubhouse, and you would have an overview of what they like, how they speak, what do they don't like, what makes them smile, what connects, and what benefit them. So that's the important thing.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I've had to eat real humble pie around all of that because I wanted to serve everybody. And then I realized when I was trying to serve everybody that it's it's impossible because I can't. And then I'm trying to work with people who don't actually want to do anything. So you get them through your systems, your funnels, then you end up with them and you think, hang on a second, I don't actually want to work with you because you don't want to do the work. And now I'm so much more clearer than ever. And it's like, if you don't know that stuff, and it does take, we can help you. We can tell you the right sort of questions to ask, even if you don't have any clients yet, right? But hopefully you do. But to understand more about them, how do they think? What do they want? Where are they going? How can you help them? What is their message?
I love that. I love what you said, Pete. Sorry to interject. I love what you said. Where are they going? And this is where you're very blessed at. You're very talented in this aspect. If you understand where your clients or the community around you wish to go, you are in that key position to assist them, guide them in starting that journey. And that's your gift. That's very important.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think, look, we're all in the business of helping other people. I would imagine you've got something to sell, a product, a service, you're a coach, you're a trainer, you're a consultant, something. So your business is about other people. Then who's going to help you with your business, take it to where it needs to be so that you can focus on the things that you really want to focus on, I mean, look, again, we could talk about any of these things in massive detail, but let's move on because this is a mini masterclass. So how about building customer trust?
Well, there you go.
How do you do that, and why is that so important?
Once you figure out your market, your tribe, the people, it's think of it as face to face. Before you start something, you really need to build trust for them to believe you, to have a constant communication with you, to have a relationship with you. Trust, my friend, guys, everyone in this room, trust is the currency of branding. In this industry, you will never succeed if you don't have trust. And if you look back, all those solid and successful brands out there, yes, they have a lot of elements in play, but the common denominator is trust. We see Nike, North Face, Jordan brand, they have established, I mentioned Jordan because I know Pete here, my brother, is a fan of Jordan's. They establish a trust. They establish that deep trust with their tribe that whatever they say, they follow, they believe, and they share that values. Talk about Apple. Talk about Facebook launching Meta. It really shaked the world, but because they established a trust before anything else, their tribe is secured, and they would follow, and they would be an advocate for you and your brand.
What you say is fascinating, right? Because it's a lot of these big brands now are being held accountable because of the power of people, the fact that people have more power than ever. In some respects, no, but in the respects of social media, it's like we're going to question you. Why should I work with you? And try and do some digging on you, right? And you think about Facebook right now with the whole social dilemma.
Yeah.
And I was looking with my wife yesterday on Facebook, and there was some violence came up, and I was thinking, why is this on the feed?
Yeah.
On the video and the thing. Then I scrolled up, and there was another one, and then I realized, well, hang on, the more I look at them, the more it's going to give me that.
Yes.
Because it knows what I'm looking for. And Facebook are being held to account with some of this right now. They'll be held to account with everything else that they do. We need to hold ourselves to account.
Yes.
Right? Hold yourself to account to who you are, what you do, what you offer. Every day, hold yourself account. Be reminded and get that right. Get it in your messaging. Because if you don't get it in your messaging and you're not clear and it's not consistent, honestly, don't bother. You have to decide, is it worth it? I'm not here to tell anyone that, doing any of this stuff is easy. But it's much easier when you've got a plan. You're just like the A-team, right? It's I love it. Hannibal used to say, I love it when a plan comes together. And we had a plan and we worked the plan and we kept working it. And now we're getting the fruits of that.
Right.
Now we're helping other people do that. And you know what? We've only just got started with this. Let's move on to establishing a recognizable appearance. Why is that? I mean, a lot of people know me because of, obviously, I like having ducks around.
Well, there you go. Yeah, that's the powerful example of it.
But it's kind of funny, actually, because there was a guy who's quite well known who told me, I can't take you seriously because you've got a duck on your head. You seem to be kind of clowning around, And then I was thinking, I thought about what he said, because he's quite an influential person. But then I thought to myself, well, I'm always going to have people that don't like what I do. Yeah. And for me, my duck is everything to do with the part of you that wants you to stay where you are, the part of you that basically keeps you in the moment, doesn't want you to grow. And that's the part of me that if you don't address that part, then you might as well forget. So when people get it and they understand it, a lot of people do. A lot of people send me ducks, give me ducks.
I love the explanation you made back when the early stage of Clubhouse, I was there in your room and you explained about the jihad and you connected to the duck. I mean, that was like an absolute powerhouse session. Like, if you don't mind, please share, my friend.
Yeah, well, the concept of a jihad it has different meanings to different people. People think of it as a holy war, but it also means the war within. That when Muslims were being suppressed many hundreds of years ago, it was like, well, you can do what you want to us, but we still have a choice how we think and feel. And to me, that's, again, we still have a choice. We still have a choice where we listen to our duck.
Right.
And whether that comes through in, my messaging, I don't know. But it raises people's curiosity. And I want people to be aware. So it's aware of things. And, what's also really important to me is my podcast, just like you. We're avid podcasters. And we promote the podcast on here as well. And the branding around that, I mean, our listenership has gone through the roof since we've been working on this stuff, because you want people to attract themselves to you and your brand.
Yes.
And I am my brand. So I want them to attract themselves I want them not to be me. I want them to feel that they can be themselves by being around my brand. Well, that's a nugget I've never even thought of. So again, why is it so important to establish a recognizable appearance, do you think?
Two major points to answer your question. Client retention and recognition. Once you achieve retention, retention means nonstop. This is something that in the age of advertising, I grew up in the age of advertising. My course was fine arts, major in advertising. So, that I was there, and retention is a massive power tool that advertisers use. And now that branding came into play, although it was always there, it really focused still on that power tool, recognition and retention. Once you always have things in content that you release in your platform, social media platforms, in your website, in your product, if you are a product, in whatever that you are releasing, you need to have the same aesthetic value, the same messaging, the same look. And it may sound so simple, but it really makes a difference. Like looking at your Instagram feed, it has podcast teasers, it has content, it has illustrations, it has videos chunks into different parts like Reels, IGTV, short and long form, but they all fall down in the same aesthetic sense. That is giving a flag for people that, hey, he's doing the same thing but different, and it speaks something. It sends a message to their mind about retention. And when you achieve that, the following point will be recognition. They will recognize you. They will see, the wing stands for Nike. That duck represents Pete Cohen's message. It's him. That yellow duck, red background, solid black, white print, that is him. If you go on mine, that yellow tint, that funny smile, that Filipino accent, that's me. Retention and recognition, it goes together. And that's the power of, achieving something really, really powerful in terms of branding. And that's not easy.
Well, if we think about how the world has changed, you talk about, I'm a bit older. How old are you, Jan?
I'm 18. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I don't know. I think I'm 32. I'm going to ask my wife. I forget how old I am. It's 32 to 35, so something like that. Although I look young, right? You wouldn't say I'm old.
You look brilliant. It must
I love
be the
you.
coffee.
I love you. I love you.
And the hot chocolate that you drink. So I am 52 next year, and I grew up.
No, you're not 52. You for me, you're like 35.
Thanks very much. I grew up in an era where personal branding was really not something people thought about, unless you were a sports person. Where that was big, right? You are your brand and the sponsorship and all of that stuff. But now we live in a world where, for so many of us, especially the people we work with, we're working people who are their brand, and that never used to be that important. Because where would you advertise yourself?
You know why, Pete? You know why? Let me just throw this out.
Yeah.
The reason why before it was a different game, the power is in the hands of the advertisers, the media moguls, the establishment. Remember back then, we have the three major powerhouse in media and advertising. It's what? Print ads, TV, and radio. That three. If you control those, you control the world. You control the trend. You control what you want to promote, the news. Everything falls under the authority and the power of the wielder, which is the advertisers. Now, I'm not saying anything negative there because, again, I grew up. I was working in the second most, big media company in the Philippines back then. But now, in this generation, that authority, that power is given to the people. Now you see the rise of brands that it falls under their power now, their approach. It's not easy giving them that power. They may not know how to wield it, but that's why there's a rise of personal brands in this generation.
Yeah, I mean, that is just so important just to take a moment to consider that. We know people don't change when they're told. We know that people change when their perspective changes. And hopefully, through you listening to what we're saying here, you're having a few opportunities to look at this differently because we are in a different time and a different era. And now there's more people making more noise than ever. The playing field there wasn't that many people playing in this field, especially the ones doing it well, right? But now it's like, well, there's a lot more people out there. It's just whether you want to be bold enough to step up, step out, and give it a go, and be because I think authenticity is still very much missing, out there with people 100% genuine. And there's a lot of people who are genuine. There's a part of me that feels like I don't want to do any of this stuff, but I do enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy it. There's a part of me that thinks, well, I'm brilliant at what I do. I look at all the people I've worked with. Why isn't, why aren't I bigger than I already am? Why don't I have more impact? I want more impact. So if I want more impact and inspire more people, I'm prepared to do the work.
Right.
I've got to really understand these key things, what we're talking about the powerful message, the target audience, you're knowing your customer avatar, having a recognizable appearance, and being cohesive with all of this. Otherwise, honestly, you'll just be lost in a city that's full of, or a world that's just full of people making noise. Listen to me, look at me. Hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
No, why? Why should I look at you? What are you going to offer me? What do I need? So just in terms of, let's just wrap this masterclass up. Just in terms of cohesiveness, what is it? What does cohesiveness mean to you?
This is where most of the brands, may it be a startup or an existing brand, gets a massive disconnection. It's a big problem. Everybody talks about being consistent, but not everybody knows how to be cohesive. Right? You can be consistent in doing something, but it doesn't mean that you're doing the right thing. But being cohesive, it's a collection that makes a solid thing. Your message, your value, your pillars is cohesive. It's a massive collection of who you really are. It's a power collection, so to speak, that gives your tribe an overview of the complete you, of the complete brand, of the complete Pete Cohen, of the complete Jan Santos. It's cohesive. If they listen to your podcast, if they watch your video, if they talk to you, if they listen, if they read, they would still have that same sense of who you are as a brand. That is being cohesive more than just being consistent. You can be consistent in achieving a cohesive approach, right? So that's the combination. We always hear, be consistent, be consistent, be consistent. But you need to do it right. Consistently achieving a cohesive approach to your brand.
On Zoom, and we lost you there for a second, my friend. Just saying about being consistent and cohesiveness. This is something I learned from Rob Moore. So a lot of people know Rob Moore. He's got a very popular podcast, this disruptive entrepreneur. And he talks about, all of us should look at being omnipresent, which again kind of freaks people out just in terms of, well, should I be everywhere?
Right.
Well, no, first off, let's get this right. First of all, if you're going to be everywhere and you haven't got this right, you're going to have some real issues, mainly in your head.
Yeah.
Right. Just being everywhere rather than, okay, where's the right place? What's the right platform for me? Like you said before, what's the right platform? And then, knowing who you are, what you do, what you offer, and really focusing on that platform, offering value. This is something we can help all of you who want to do the work.
Right.
We can do a lot of the work for you, but ultimately it's down to you. But one of the things I learned from him, like, for example, he wants to disrupt things where he'll be controversial. He will interview people where he'll get a lot of people saying horrible things about him. I don't want that. But I see what he's doing. I know other people that are doing that, and there's a price to pay for that. I don't want that personally. So this is so important to work out all of this stuff. But the point I want to make here is around, if you see yourself as you've got a production company, you're in production, you've got a production house. I mean, I'm in not the education field. I'm in the edutainment field. I want to educate in a way that's inspiring to people. So all of this stuff is so important, and I'm so lucky to work with some great people who have really helped me craft this message, and it's still work in progress. So this masterclass has been about the key fundamentals of building a solid brand. It's just short, and we'll be doing a lot more into this. What we've been talking about is creating a clear and powerful message. We've been talking about knowing your target audience. We've been talking about building customer trust. We've been talking about establishing a recognizable appearance, and we've been talking about cohesiveness. So, this is awesome, Jan. Let's. Is there anything you want to add before we just go onto Clubhouse and we We see if anyone has any questions for us.
Just be simple, guys. Don't get lost in the rabbit hole of complicating things. I know there's a lot of, this and that and tips and hacks. Just, step back, clear your mind, and focus on your intent. And then once you have that in place, answer the 3 major points: who you are, what you do, and what you offer. And then from there, you can have a clear vision of where you want to go. And then, people to really connect with you, really engage, and bring you to the next level. Be simple, enjoy, know why you do stuff. Live life.
And if you want to check out, what we're doing in the terms of collaboration and who we are and what we offer, literally just go to thecreativescoop.me and you can see what we offer. And you can actually book in a call with us. You can actually see some of our clients, some of what we're doing, because we've only just got started.
Thank you for being with us here on the Creative Talk Podcast. I'm your host, John Santos. Don't forget to listen and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. See you again, always.